Hello and welcome to the Maze of Thoughts podcast. Here, co-hosting, I am Trey 50 Daniel alongside,
Now it's big.
or if it's Vim, I know sometimes it's both. But God, like he was streaming to Theta and Vim and Twitch too. Oh, and I was having to watch on Twitch because Vim wasn't working for him. So I don't know.
In what way? Was it
Like
buffering
it just
a lot?
no, he just dropped connection, just completely dropped.
Yeah. So, since you mentioned Theta, did you see the? I got sent an email that Edward Snowden was going to be on Theta. Actually, well, technically, yeah, it's going to be today, or it was today, because for me it's already the 4th. But yeah,
No way. Like actual Edward Snowden's
yeah,
going to be on Theta? No way.
yeah. I got the email not too long ago, 3 days ago, I think. It was like a
That's pretty
little
awesome.
thing or whatever, like a fucking sort of well, but I'm assuming it's like typical Snowden things where he just talks a lot about what he thinks of
Well, I mean,
the days.
I assume he's probably going to talk about political stuff because
Yeah,
he's, since he's kind of a whistleblower for politics, it's kind of,
technology and all that kind of shit.
yeah, I mean, the political and technology space, he's going to probably just have to, tell everything about that because he's the probably the most well versed on all the vulnerabilities and all the problems with the modern, like, I guess, big tech and all that stuff, like the way that they're overseeing and working with NSA and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
It really is. Um, have you watched his movie? Not his movie, but the movie about him.
The documentary.
No, the actual movie with like actors and shit.
No, I haven't watched. I watched like a documentary where they were interviewing him, but I haven't seen the movie about him. Like it was just done on him.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So I watched
Most
the.
of those like documentary movies suck. Like the
No, it's
movies
not a.
about like.
It was not a documentary. It was like an actual movie with like a dramatic movie and shit.
Well,
Uh,
that's what I'm talking. But like a movie where they're trying to like do it like a biography kind of. Like those suck because they did one on the only good one though, the only good one that I've seen was the one about The Big Short, which is Michael Burry.
well,
He
I really
predicted.
liked the WikiLeaks one about or Assange movie,
Oh,
the
Julian
Assange movie.
Assange. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Julian
like that
Julian
one.
Assange is.
That one was good, but the fucking Snowden movie was. But I don't know. I didn't like it. Personally, I didn't like it. I also watched the what's his name? Fucking the dude from um
Uh,
Silk Road.
oh, it's just
So
music.
yeah,
What?
no,
Wait,
it's
what's
not
going
just
on?
music. I'm not playing any music, so I don't know where. It's probably some issue on
Oh,
MSP Wave's
wait.
end. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm transmitting literally
Oh, there it is.
the the transmitting the fucking the thing. I'm transmitting properly, so I don't know. It's got to be on MSP Wave's end.
Yeah. So
The run's probably fucking up, not me. Someone on
Ron,
Vim
get back
said.
in there. Get back in there, Ron. Gotta get back in there and
Someone
clean
on
out those
Vim
servers.
said Dread Pirate Roberts. That was his nickname, but I'm talking about his actual name. Uh, hold on. Silk Road. Silk Road. Fucking.
And I didn't watch Silk
No.
Road.
God damn it! Not the fucking. Dude, why can't I fucking find the thing? Ross Ulbricht. or Ulbricht, whatever however the
Oh,
fuck you
Ross
pronounce that shit.
Ulbricht.
Yep,
Yes, yes,
yep.
yes.
That
He's that thing. He needs to be freed. Like there's no like he shouldn't be. Yeah, Ross shouldn't be in jail for that.
I don't really
It's
care
ridiculous.
about that, to be honest. But yeah, I watched the movie, and the movie is kind of meh as well. So my point was basically all of these movies about these people that did some I guess some had some impact on the world and shit, on technology and stuff. Like a lot of them suck, but I did like the Assange one. But the Ulbricht one and the Snowden one I didn't like. That was basically my point. Whether he's in jail rightfully or not, I don't give a shit. Technically he fucked up. I mean, he literally created a fucking platform for drug dealers on the internet. I mean, why should you not be in jail?
I actually said that right before I guess it cut out, Gabriel. The Big Short is probably my favorite like biopic type film. It's a masterpiece because who's the actor that plays him? Is it who's the actor that played him in that movie? I like it because I'm into like financial stuff, and I've been following actually I've been following Michael Burry on Twitter and stuff like that, and it's hilarious how Michael Burry, he just gets on a rant, and then all of a sudden he deletes his Twitter after he's made some like really big prediction about the financial market or whatever.
Hmm. Right. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's all good.
Yeah, you should watch the movie. It's called The Big Short.
If it's about
No, it wasn't.
finances,
It wasn't Steve Carell that played him. It was Christian Bale. Christian Bale actually played Michael Burry.
oh damn,
Yeah,
Christian Bale's a. I mean, Steve Carell is pretty good actor as well, but Christian Bale is very methodical and shit.
yeah, but like the Christian Bale played the part really well because the guy Michael Burry is actually he's Asperger's, and so a lot of times he's kind of off a little bit off the way he's interacting with people, and so it's funny to see Christian Bale kind of embody that role.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people gave some fucking shit to Christian Bale, but I really like his acting. I really, really, really like the Batman movies until it became fucking Ben Affleck doing the Batman movies, and then I was like, no, do not put Ben Affleck as the Batman. It doesn't make any
What
fucking sense.
so you don't like Batflick,
No,
as they've
not
called
at
him?
all.
So what do you think about the new one then, the Robert Pattinson?
No.
Did you see the
okay.
trailer?
Uh, I'm gonna say no because fuck Twilight, but I don't want to be that guy that goes like, oh fucking dude, this guy played this on this and that on that.
That means he can never play
sucks.
anything.
No, because like I mean, look at fucking Heath Ledger. He was the best, in my opinion, the best Joker thus far. You know what I mean? So a lot of people have different opinions, and that's okay. A lot of people think Jack Nicholson was a very, very good fucking Joker. Other people like the other Jokers, but me personally, I think Heath Ledger was the best fucking Joker because it was at the same time disturbing and just like it was disturbing. It was at times comedic and very like he really, really, really got into the fucking role, and he really went deep, like balls deep into the fucking role. So balls deep that it ended the way it ended. But yeah, like in my opinion,
Yeah, I mean,
best Joker
he's definitely
by
best
far.
Joker, but like I think that for the what it's like for what they were going for with the new Joker movie, I like that actor for that role. I forget what his name is, but the Joker movie, that actor is good in that role, but I don't think that that is Joker. Like I don't know, like the way that they made it, I don't think that that's Joker.
Are you
In
talking
any, I
about
mean,
Jared Leto?
no, I'm talking about the standalone Joker movie, like not Suicide Squad.
Oh, with the Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
did
really
play
liked it.
played
I
that
really
one.
liked it, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't think that that was the Joker. I think that maybe if you had another movie, I don't know if they're going to do another movie, but I think that that would be when you actually have the Joker. You know, like that was kind of an origin, I guess. Like they were trying to build an origin for the Joker. But
uh,
the
they were trying to sort of combine a little bit of they tried to do sort of a realistic movie, if you will, in the sense that they explored that illness where you laugh when you get nervous or anxious or some shit, uh, which if you look at YouTube videos, and these YouTube videos became very popular when the movie went viral, I guess, because these people, this is an actual thing, and that's why they explored it, and that's why the movie has it, where people are literally laughing their ass off at very awkward situations and very like negative situations, and that's essentially what they explored. And to me, kind of makes sense. It was, honestly, I think it was a really good exploration for the movie. And then they just sort of add like really dark, disturbing like topics to the movie as well, a little bit further down the line. What I didn't like was the pandering to the movie at the end with Robert De Niro. There's a little bit of pandering to certain fucking orientations, if you will. I wasn't a huge fan of that because it just, like, I'm not against it, it just didn't match anything else. If it matched, I'd be like, sure, cool, but it did not match like 99% of the movie. So it's like, why are
yeah
you putting this on here at the end of this scene? Just like, for what? Just because you want people to be like, oh, he mentioned that or whatever. And I fucking hate the goddamn pandering and pampering and whatever the fuck.
like my thing with that movie was that they tried to make it like I think I get what they were trying to do, but it didn't come off as I think as cleanly as they wanted. But it was like this idea of like the class struggle of like the rich and then the like the really poor people who can't get mental health or whatever. And that was the kind of idea that they were going for. Is like you have somebody really poor who doesn't get any mental health, and then you have like these really rich people who are like entertainers and superstars, and then those are the type of people that that this guy is then gonna want to go after or whatever.
Well, but
Like like
yeah, but
rich.
that's a difficult topic because it usually depends on a lot of things. It depends on a lot of like situations, because mental health is a complex shit. It's very fucking complex.
Yeah, but what I'm
for
saying is
example,
they boiled it down like the way that the movie shows it is they boil it down to like if you're poor, then your mental health is just going to be bad in
uh,
general.
I disagree. I disagree because like I said, he had that illness about laughing in very like situations that makes no sense that you should be laughing or that you would laugh or anything. Like it just it's a difficult thing to explore, especially when you don't feel or when you don't have that illness and you're writing about it. It's a hard thing to explore, but mental illness is a very complex thing, and I can talk about it on a personal level, personally. Lol. No, but like, I feel like, for example, when I went to the psychiatrist and my diagnosis was done, I was kind of okay with it, but at the same time, it's like I feel like my diagnosis wasn't really correct, and psychiatry and all that shit is a very difficult thing for diagnosis, because it's not like you pee on a cup and the doctor knows all about you and all that shit. It's not like you get a little bit of blood out of an individual and you get all the information you want from them. It's a it's a complex thing, and it depends a lot on how much the person or how much the patient is willing to share with the doctor. And I, prior to going to the to the appointment and shit, I made a little list of all the things I was going through, of all the things I was feeling, all the things I wasn't okay with and whatever, and I presented those to the doctor. But there's a lot of things that if you're an introvert, you might not want to share, even with a fucking psychiatrist, unless you build sort of a rapport, or unless you build a confidence with the psychiatrist. Which, this probably sounds weird as fuck, like I'm here sitting in front of a camera talking to whoever the fuck is listening, and there's a possibility that the whole world could listen to this, and here I am sharing about this kind of shit. But it's different where I'm comfortably sitting at home and I'm sitting in a doctor's office, or the doctor's fucking room, and I'm talking to a person individually, face to face. It's different. Like, the introvert in a person, in my opinion, is like when you're face to face, it's a little bit different than like in the situation like this, where I'm just sitting in front of a camera, and even though my anxiety kind of sometimes speaks a little bit, it's not the same, because I don't know. But I feel like, for like this whole story, basically to say, like, I feel like my diagnosis was not correct. He diagnosed me with neurosis. I think I'm dysthymic personally, but I don't want to be a self-diagnostic dipshit like a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm heavily depressed or whatever. I have this, I have that, I have that, and it's all because they read some information on the internet. But comparing neurosis to the things that dysthymia actually has, I feel like it's more spot on the dysthymia compared to neurosis. But it is what it is. It's
Well,
all, it's like,
and I mean, like, there's so many things that they diagnose, I guess, through like psychology, that isn't necessarily like, how do I explain it? Like, it's not workable. Like, obviously depression is a serious one, but like there are some things that are kind of tangential to like sort of depression or some kind of thing, and it's more about your environment and like what your your understanding of the world is, as opposed to other, someone else who has a better mental state, I guess. And if you don't have your sort of self-centered into this right worldview, that you can like actually put yourself in the right position, and orient your world in the way that it's going to be beneficial to you, because some people kind of need to make the world work in a different way for them, because that's just how they're wired. But that's not ever addressed. I think a lot of times they just want to slap a diagnosis on you, and they don't want to actually get to the root of the problem. And that's where I think that like a lot of the psychologists like fail.
no, I feel like a diagnosis is a 50-50 effort. It's a 50% effort on the psychiatrist's end, and it's a 50% effort on the patient's end. Like, you can't just go to a psychiatrist and like, I want to be diagnosed. And like I said, it's not like you're providing blood and your blood is gonna provide information to the doctor. It's not like you're gonna pee on a cup and your fucking like your pee is gonna provide information to the doctor. It's a very difficult thing to diagnose if the patient doesn't collaborate with you well. And when I went to a psychiatrist, I was going through a phase where through December, it was actually through December, literally through the entirety of December, I just laid on my couch, like basically through the whole month. I would be, during the day I would be laying on a couch, during the night I would be laying on a couch. I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't, like, I'd drink water, but that was about it. I'd literally not do anything. I'd just be laying on the couch all day, all night, and I just wanted to fucking be dead. I still want to be dead, but I don't want to be as dead as I wanted to be when I was during that the fucking December. So I decided, you know what? I want to go to a psychiatrist. I want to, like, at least get a fucking diagnosis to an extent so that I can get some fucking meds and hopefully get a little better. Because I don't want to be laying on a fucking couch all day and all night. Like, fuck that, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I get to the point too, you know, like mornings like this morning where it's like, you know, I just don't know, like rolling out of bed is more of a task, you know, and it's one of those things. It's like, I need to get up and I need to do something, and it takes a lot to motivate myself. But then, you know, once I get going, sometimes it kind of, at least the train gets moving. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I am with a lot of what I deal with, at least. And I've never went to a psychologist or anything because I don't really, I don't want to get into that because I know that there's a lot of there's a lot of stigma around, you know, going to do that, and there are a lot of consequences if you potentially go to a psychologist.
Huh?
If
What do you
if
mean?
if they diagnose you with something, so if I get diagnosed by a psychologist with something, then technically I may not be able to like own, you know, like firearms or something like that.
That's your fucking concern? God damn it, dude. You fucking Americans, man. Holy shit. That's actually sad, dude.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I have to consider it. You know, it's like it's like I'm healthy, relatively speaking. I mean, obviously, I have, you know, moments where there are certain things that bother me, but you know, going to a shrink and then all of a sudden I get everything taken away. It's a huge world change.
So, like, what if one day your mental just fucking snaps and you grab a fucking gun and you go fucking shit like 30 people?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's why they don't want you to own them if you have certain conditions. Like if you get diagnosed with a certain
Bro,
condition,
but
you
that
can't own
makes
them.
fucking sense. Like, dude, what you're saying is let's not get
Well,
diagnosed by psychiatrists because I possibly can go shoot people
no, no, no,
without,
no, no,
like,
no,
because I'm gonna
no, no,
fucking snap.
no, no. So
What?
I'm a overall I'm a very stable individual. But if they label me as like, oh, you're depressed or something like that, then all of a sudden, you know, because I shouldn't be able to own guns if I'm depressed, then they would just take them away, not thinking that like thinking that I would be some kind of threat. You know what I mean? That's that. It's one of those things where like they would immediately take preemptive action of just like, then now, well, because you've been diagnosed with depression, you shouldn't have a gun, and they want to take it away from you or whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That feels weird. It feels weird. So that's how you guys go around it. You guys just don't get diagnosed because you want to shoot guns.
I mean, what it usually, so here's the what most people can do,
You
okay,
got
and
you got
this,
to realize there's a problem in that, right?
most people can either go to like either they go to church and they have like they can go to their pastor like or like their
Oh
priest or
yeah,
whatever, and then they
that's
could
very viable for sure. A fucking
um
bastard is the most viable option for sanity.
well, I mean it's free, and a lot of people can if they have a decent pastor or a priest, then they can actually help with some of their problems. But as far as like a
A
psych,
fucking pastor doesn't like they're not taught psychology, man. They're just gonna say the most generic bullshit and that's about it. I don't
well, I mean,
there's a
they would
lot of
probably.
issues with the things you've been saying right now, man. There's a lot of fucking issues there. Like, goddamn. There's a lot of fucking issues there. God damn. Imagine if fucking Kyle got a diagnosis. Hmm? Imagine that.
I mean, see that's the problem though, because then it would just be like, okay, well now you can't get anything, and you can't do anything, and society is gonna like literally shun you, like because that's how it is. I mean, at least in America, it's like if you get diagnosed with one of those things, I mean, there'll be the weird people who just wear it
But
like a
dude,
badge of
like,
honor,
but
and then
listen,
there's the rest of the people
if
are
you
like
get
completely.
diagnosed with one of those things, it's because you got a fucking issue. And if you have a fucking issue, you have to either treat it or, like, if you have a fucking issue, you shouldn't have goddamn guns. Imagine all those motherfuckers like that. Where was it? Fucking Vegas or some shit? That motherfucker just like sat
Oh
there
wait.
fucking.
That's a whole different story. If you want to get into that story, that is a massive like conspiracy theory.
Mm. And of course, it's a conspiracy theory, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Pig really has a lot of faith in quacks. What is that supposed to mean? Like, explain, because
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go
what's a
get
quack?
pilled up. I mean, for me, I don't need pills. Most of what my things would be
Dude,
solved
my
just by like
my
literally
point
just.
is, if you're okay, you should be you should be fine. Like, there should be no issues. If you're
Yeah,
not
but
okay,
they have
you
a
sh-
propensity to diagnose people. So like they would it benefits them to diagnose you, and then have you buy pills or whatever.
hmm, okay.
Yeah, I
Dude,
mean it's
here's a
basically
I
it
mean,
goes back to what Ron's saying.
I am like, my mind is
Mind blown.
blown away by what I've just learned in these like last 5 to 10 minutes. Like, no wonder, dude. No wonder. Do you know Cannibal Corpse? Do you know what Cannibal Corpse is at
Mhm.
all?
No.
Cannibal Corpse is a brutal death metal band from Florida, Tampa, and they've been like one of the major bands for many years at this point. I went to see them in 2007 when I was 16 years old. It was great, and they've had this guitar player, Pat O'Brien. He played for Nevermore first, but he joined Cannibal Corpse and he became like one of the lead guitarists for Cannibal Corpse. And essentially, he was a really good guitar player. Most people never thought he was gonna ever do anything. And this guy, at some point, he snaps. He just snaps, grabs his fucking shit, grenades, guns, all kinds of shit in his house, and he just like starts threatening people. He literally threatens a fucking cop and shit, and gets jailed. Now, luckily he didn't do anything, but the point is he snapped and he could have done something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the fucking problem, dude. That's the
Yeah, but I
fucking
mean
problem.
like the overdiagnosis combined with like the fact that if if they then take everything away, then like I have no way to protect myself. It's like it's a huge problem like that way, because I mean there could be someone, I want to be able to protect them, my family or whatever. It's like, well, I
I
don't.
get what you're saying. I get
It's
what you're saying. Uh, I get what you're saying because I
now
guess
if you
if
take away, like, if you wanted to
no
isolate it and
hold
say,
on, let me just say this. I get what you're saying because if the psychiatrist that diagnoses you is a piece of shit and literally just wants to fucking diagnose you so that they can prescribe you with shit and get like a commission or something, I get that. There are pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Um, but I guess that's where our differences in sort of countries and shit come in, because we don't have any of that here. Like psychiatrists don't have, like, my psychiatrist had no intention of prescribing me shit. I literally just went like, motherfucker, I want shit to fucking feel a little bit better because I feel like shit. I just want to kill myself. Like, please help me. You know, like, if I'm just gonna go home and like sit there with nothing, I'm gonna feel the exact same way. So I guess that is the difference between, like, both sort of cultures. I guess the cultural difference. I guess. So I get what you're saying, but there's still an issue there. But I understand what you're saying, though. I understand what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, it comes down to, like, if they could just, like, help me, and then, like, because honestly, if they could do it healthily, and then I could still keep, like, keep firearms, then that would be a whole different story. Because then I would just be like, okay, well, if they're gonna help me, and then I'm, then I can still keep my guns, then it doesn't matter at that point, right? It's like, I want to have my guns, and then I want to get help, or whatever, if I did, and then that would just be a path, right?
Yeah, I
But
guess. I guess. I don't know, man. The cultural difference is really, like, it really is, like, it really is noticeable. And like, when we're talking in these situations, it's noticeable as fuck because it's such a difference. Because, like, you guys live with, like, you guys go to sleep with guns under your pillow and shit. Like, we don't do any of that. Like, we don't do any of that here. We have no guns. We're just fucking, we just go with fists or knives or some shit. So yeah, but so it's like a massive cultural difference. But I mean, I get what, like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. I understand what you're saying. Like, sometimes you wanna keep, at least, because if they have guns, how are you gonna defend yourself? So I understand that.
yeah, and I mean, especially, like, in some areas, I mean, luckily I live in a pretty good area, but if I were in like the ghetto areas, like, there are several ghetto areas around here, and even where I live, there could be some people who come from, like, a town over, and then they would be, from the bad part of town, and it would just be me against them, with, and they could be armed to the teeth.
I mean,
So
most of the true crime videos I watch, man, they're just casual, like, people that just decided to murder somebody. So you know what I mean? Like, I guess the ghetto it can be like, sort of scary, but man, the fucking normal motherfuckers are scarier than the ghetto ones, to be honest. At least to me, because I'm a little bit ghetto myself, so it's all good in that regards. But like, fucking normal motherfuckers, man, like, those dipshits to fucking live a normal life and go to offices and shit. No offense to anybody that works on an office, Gabriel. But dude, like, bro, yeah, Gabriel's not normal though, so it's all good. He's definitely not normal. Fuck me.
So I guess here's a good segue. This is a topic we can talk about. So, speaking of the ghetto, apparently New York City, here in the U.S., they've decided to make smoking crack legal, and they actually have areas where people can go and smoke crack.
But can they buy it?
I don't know if they can buy it there, but they can smoke it there.
So, okay,
It's
then
it's
I don't know
legal.
if
It's
I don't know
legal for
if
them to
it's
do it.
I don't know, man. Like again, we don't even have legal like I okay. This is hard to fucking talk about because I'm such a dumbass when it comes to these things, but Portugal is not as strict when it comes to like weed and like doobies as, for example, England is. That I know. We're not as strict as them. Like you can carry some with you as long as you don't have the intent, or as long as you don't have enough to deal. I guess it's fine. But
Like you just have enough to smoke, right? Like
yeah,
if you
yeah,
just
yeah. For personal consumption, I guess it's all good. But I mean, once again, like you could have like fucking 5 kilograms on you, and it could be just purely for your consumption. But if they find you with it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're trying to deal," so just don't get caught with 5 kilograms. Uh,
just bring one at a time. Just bring 1 kilo at a time.
no, dude, like you can only carry like grams, like literal grams. But it's yeah. Okay, so to an extent, I guess it could be good for those people that are hooked to it to maybe, so like if you sort of concentrate them into an area, maybe you can get somebody to go and help them. Maybe you can get somebody to go like over there and she's like, yo, are you guys good? You guys need some help? Are you just hooked on crack and you can't get out and just can't find anybody? Because a lot of these people, sometimes they get hooked on crack because they became homeless. I think sometimes they might get homeless because they're hooked on crack. I don't know, but it's I guess it's one of the situations. What? Okay, was it not you, Gabriel, that sent me like a bunch of videos about this dude that went around some place in America, like interviewing people, like homeless people and like crackheads and shit like that? I think it was you, man. I think it was Gabriel. He sent me like a bunch of videos where this dude he had a YouTube channel, just like go around filming like homeless people and crackheads and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, see, there's some around here that like I know that they're faking. Like there are people who are quote unquote homeless that are over here. I literally saw one like walk over to they walked over to a car after they had got handed some money, and then they just drove off. Like so, like some people are real and some people are faking. But yeah, like I would say it's 50-50 on whether the people like got into it and then they then something happened and then they're homeless, or the other way around. Either way, but I think overall they just need to have like a places. I guess there needs to be like an AA, like if you know Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah,
There needs to be
yeah,
something like that for recovering drug addicts across like the whole, you know, preferably across the whole world, but definitely the U.S. because it's really bad in certain areas.
yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. Like if they start getting kind of condensed, maybe it's easier to get some help to them. Maybe the crimes were just so bad that they had to sort of go and choose a measurement of like, hey, let's just fucking let him do it, dude. Fuck it. So yeah, I don't know. That's once again one of those things where, as someone who's quite far away from America, I can't really, like, I don't know how bad New York is, but I guess kind of like New York is like one of the capitals of crime, I guess, because it's so big and so many people are on there. I
mean,
don't know.
it's like literally probably not the biggest city anymore, but it used to be literally the biggest population density in the whole U.S.
Okay.
So the most people per square mile, all across the whole city. But they've had a huge homeless problem and a huge drug problem in that city. So
Yeah.
I don't know if just I think this is gonna overcorrect. Like they're overcorrecting the other way because it's like, oh well, we were putting a lot of people in prison for drugs when they weren't really doing anything, and it's not helping them. It's only making them worse criminals. And then they're overcorrecting to the point where now it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna give you crack addicts a room to go do crack in. It's like, oh my god.
I mean, yeah, that's a hard one to sort of talk about, at least for me, because I never did crack. Uh, the hardest drug I ever did was speed, honestly, and it was like very smidge of it. It fucked me up though. I mean, it fucked me up in the sense that I was running like crazy on a festival. I was just like going back and forth, like literally running. And I lost a pair of Ray-Ban glasses. So felt bad. Felt bad for that, but the fucking thing was pretty entertaining until that point. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. It's like it's rough for me to talk
Man, you
about.
could have sold those Ray-Bans for some more speed. You know.
Fuck that. Fuck the speed, man. I love my Ray-Bans, man. I fucking love my Ray-Bans. I got a bunch of them. I think it was like someone who got them from like some factory, some shit, or store, or whatever. Like, I think they had like they were flawed. So instead of being like the original price, they were a little bit cheaper. But they were original nonetheless, which was to me all I cared about. So. Because like you got those fakes where they have the Ray-Ban. Like I literally bought a pair of these, and they were like they had the fucking Ray-Ban on the corner of the thing, but they didn't have the laser engraving or whatever you call it on like literally within the lens. And they had the corner Ray-Ban thingy like printed or some shit on top of there. And within like 2 weeks that shit fucking just fell off. They were no longer Ray-Ban. They were Ray-Ban for 2 weeks, and that was about it. So
Yeah, I've seen the knockoffs that last even longer than regular Ray-Bans sometimes that some people get. Like it depends.
those are good then. All right, so I'm gonna grab a beer. So entertain the folks, man. All right, just do a little bit of dancing or something for them. I'm just gonna grab another beer. BRB.
So yeah. All right, now that he's gone, we can take over. We can take over the pigsty, and then now. Yes, now we'll take over the pigsty, and then. We have to enslave the pig children. Oh, good. That's funny. But they're pigs, though. We can enslave the pigs. Like they're not humans, okay?
Oh shit, we got a drink, dude.
Oh,
I mean, I read "fuck the pig" and I'm like, hell yeah. Who's gonna fuck the pig? I'm not gay, so you know.
what if
Oh,
It's a female pig, though.
why did you just lose your shit? I don't get it. What just happened?
What if it's a female pig, though?
Oh, if it's a female pig, hell yeah, dude. Bring it on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20, dude. Gay for pay. Okay. There's a fun little moment. Had a
Yeah.
good time there. Right on, right on, right on.
So I guess, what else do you want to talk about?
Okay, so I got 3 topics here for these are gaming related and shit. A lot of people here are not into gaming. So I guess we can go for this one. Do people go too far with theories? Do you reckon? Because QAnon is an example. I've been watching recently, like Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, I think that's his name. I watched like what was this? What the fuck was the name?
QAnon Shaman?
No. Dude, I forgot the name. I'm not even gonna look because
QAnon is definitely a psyop, no doubt.
and like you've got these people, and like so Andrew Callahan, he did this show, and now he's doing Channel 5, but he did this show, and he went into a flat Earth convention. He went into a QAnon convention as well. He went into all this kind of shit, and when I'm watching that stuff, I'm like, wow, these people exist. This is not a fucking stage thing. These people are real. Like these are not actors or anything. Like this is an actual event that happened. This person is actually saying that they stopped talking to their families because they believe in the QAnon and shit. This is real. This is not bullshit. And I'm sitting there like, wow, dude, that's crazy. So do you think people go a little bit too far with their fucking theories?
So if you're like in the QAnon thing, so that's a little bit different, I think, than some of the other things. So like flat Earth, yeah, I mean they're weird, but I don't know. As long as they don't try to like do anything about it, I guess I don't really care what they think. I mean, maybe they're
what does that mean?
like as long as they don't try to like, oh well, I'm going to like, if they had access to sort of military tech and they're like shooting rockets into the ground.
Yeah, there was I believe there was a dude who literally tried to fucking rocket himself. I think he died too. I think he built a rocket himself and he tried to use it, and I think he fucked up.
Surprise! Like I think I know what you're talking about. Like he wanted to see if the Earth was flat, and he was gonna ride a rocket into the air. Is that the one that we're thinking of? Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. That's yeah. If they do something like that, then maybe they're a danger to themselves and others. But like other than that, like flat Earth, I don't think it's a big deal.
Like literally that shit right there. Flat Earther dies in rocket crash. But this is literally the fucking like the I guess the pinnacle of my point here. Is like, does people go too far with theories? They do. This guy went to the point of like killing himself basically because he wanted to prove that fucking Earth was flat. It's like okay, but the fucking like, I mean, the QAnon is that shit's deep, man. That shit's deep, and I find it unbelievable to fucking like to see people talking about it, and it's like, yes, I stopped talking to my family because they don't believe me, and they're like, they just think I'm crazy, but I love them all still and stuff. And I'm like, dude, Come on.
So the QAnon thing's a little bit different. Like flat Earth, I can
Are you a
see how.
QAnon? I
No,
feel
no,
like you're
no.
a QAnon.
No. I'm the furthest thing. I'm
Hmm.
the furthest thing from a QAnon. You know, it's but the QAnon thing clearly. There were a lot of people who if you saw the way our last election went, I mean, obviously, I guess since all the platforms, YouTube and everything, I'm not saying that anything happened, I guess, with the election, but the overall sentiment that people had from the election was not positive. And so there were a lot of people, these QAnon people who really thought that there was something that could be done, and they wanted to be able to quote unquote save the country in that way. And they thought that they were doing their part by joining this QAnon and being able to try to like manufacture things and meet and do all these different things to try to reinstate either Trump or something like that. Um, but what I think that part of it could have been too is the government. I don't know if you know this, but governments often do social engineering. They do a lot of agitation and propaganda towards a lot of people. So I think that a lot of these people may have been influenced in some way by our government agencies just to try to like push them over the edge. Because it's like, hey, we believe in this. Like we think that we want to protect our country. We want to do this or that, and then like this sort of these CIA agents or whatever. They kind of give them the nudge that they need to just go over the edge. But that's a little bit different kind of scenario than other conspiracy theories, I guess. As far as overall conspiracies go, I think that there's a select group of people who take them too far, but it's usually not enough to matter, I guess.
Hmm. Okay. I can accept that. I can accept that.
I mean, like this
Uh,
guy making rockets. I mean, to prove that flat Earth isn't real. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit far, dude. Like, but other than that,
fucking.
if you're not making rockets, if you just sit in your room and you say I believe the Earth is flat, I don't really think that you're a problem. I think you're crazy,
Nah,
but I don't
but
think you're gonna be a
that
problem.
okay. That's the thing. Like, I think they're a problem for people coming in, possibly believing the shit they're saying. Does that make sense? Because maybe this dude who built the rocket was a little bit reasonable, but because some motherfucker said like, "Oh no, dude, the Earth is flat, and here's my fucking proof about it," and then he was like, sort of, okay, I guess I'm gonna build a fucking rocket, and I'm gonna try to prove that fucking Earth is flat. You know what I mean? Like, you have all these fucking Facebook groups nowadays and shit. That shit's dangerous, man. Fucking Facebook groups are dangerous. They're trying to clear the hate. Yeah, clear the fucking hate of my ass, man. Your fucking groups are dangerous as shit, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, like the Facebook groups are the worst anyway, but definitely like I guess what you're saying is like people who make videos and they say, "Oh yeah, man, you totally
Oh
just
no
gotta
no no
check
no!
this
no.
out. This is a proof.
Uh,
Oh, here's some proof,
you know
man.
you don't
Here's the
have to
proof."
make videos. Like, you can just be sitting there on your computer, and just like on I don't, like, it doesn't have to be fucking Facebook. It could be fucking 4chan or some shit. I never used 4chan myself, but like, oh, I know a lot of motherfuckers use that shit, and they can just see the fucking Earth is flat, and I have proof because this is like, dude. Okay, perfect fucking example. I knew this dude. He was a really good musician. He sent me a fucking record, like a physical fucking record. When I had the radio online and shit, he sent me a fucking like physical record, and I listened to it, and I was like, "This is good. This is actually pretty good." And then he wanted a review. I hated to do reviews because I hate to talk. I hate to say bad things about people's work, even if it's bad, but I just hate it. But you know, it was good. Like I said previously, it was actually good music, and he was a good musician and shit. And this guy falls into the whole fucking flat Earth bullshit. And I'm on my, at this point I have Facebook still. I am on Facebook regularly, talking to people and shit. And here's this guy fucking posting shit about like flat Earth. He's pro flat Earth, and I'm fucking against that bullshit. And I have like fucking 90% of the people on my friends list on Facebook was against the fucking flat Earth because they have a little bit of a brain. And this guy goes like, dude, but like, this and that. And I'm like, come on, man. And dude, he was posting images, he was posting videos, he was posting like fucking like shit. It seemed like fucking calculations from Einstein and all that shit. And I was like, what? Really? Like, do you think they've been fucking lying to us for all these years? It's unbelievable, man. It's fucking unbelievable. I just can't. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But let's play a little bit of a video here. Let's watch this video for a little bit, because I always really like watching videos because we can just react to them, and it's pretty fun in my opinion. Wait, that's not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do. Let's check this video out.
I've kind of been searching for the truth my whole life. And one time I just came across a video that was about Biden and Kamala Harris and Clinton and Obama. They are Satan worshipers, Satanists. They're Satan worshipers, 100%. And I couldn't wait to tell my family. And they just go, they just said, you're crazy, Trump's the worst.
How does that make you feel?
Sad, I cry all the time. But I just keep praying. That's all I do. I just keep praying and asking God to open their eyes. I have a beautiful family. They're just blind.
Which family member do you miss the most?
Probably my baby sister. I told her we're in a spiritual warfare. This is between good and evil, and she rolled her eyes.
What was her name?
Meg. We go and have wine together and lunch
Shut
together.
up, Meg.
It's gone.
You wish you had never stumbled upon.
Once you learn, you don't turn back. I know what God wants of us and what Jesus wants, and it's what Trump wants, and it's what the Patriots want. I would never turn back, no matter how many of my family I lose.
Where we going? We go on!
God, Jehovah, you are the most high God. You are the most high
I have been censored 3 times, disabled, permanently disabled on Facebook. Censored, permanently suspended. They don't like my Q flag. They don't like my Q mobile, and they sure the hell don't like me in my Q Patriot costume.
Where we go one, we go all. I don't even say the M word anymore, right?
What?
The M word.
What's that?
It's a dirty word. It's Now I have my own words instead of the words that I know the algorithms are gonna shut me down.
Can you tell us what words you use for which? We're not going to shut you down.
Mask, the face diaper, vaccine, the jokey pokey, and election fraud. The obvious fraud. See, people don't understand everything that we've learned from day one has been a lie. We never were on the moon. No, I don't think
Never on the
Hitler
moon.
situation is as bad as they
Darn,
say it was.
man.
That was the Rothschilds, that was the Rockefellers. Those are naughty words in social media. I got banned forever on Facebook.
You're watching Channel 5.
After a hectic few weeks on the road, covering events like the Pickup Artist Boot Camp in Las Vegas,
America is back open, baby. It's makeout time.
Okay.
And creating my first solo documentary about two twins in Marin City, California.
We've been everywhere and on every bitch.
Hey, bitch, I'm in my mode. Money turn me on.
I decided to dive back into the world of right-wing politics. That's when I discovered the God and Country Patriot Roundup, a 3-day event in Dallas which cost $3,000, not including a stay at the Omni Hotel in Dallas, which cost an additional $1,000. What I found there was a couple hundred patriots with one thing in common.
I have been banned from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. This is Joe Biden's daughter's diary. I used to make videos like reading it out loud.
I've lost 2 YouTube channels, 3 Twitters, and 4 Facebooks. Every time it's like,
kudos,
yes,
bro. Kudos.
I'm winning.
Why'd you get banned?
He's like super happy.
Pizzagate conspiracy theory.
Well, first of all, I had like
the
300,000
Pizzagate.
subscribers on YouTube. The last couple of videos I did were all about the Hunter Biden laptop issue. Within 48 hours of putting those out, they just deleted my channel right away. And then within 2 weeks of that, I was deleted off of Twitter as well.
Yes, we were recently kicked off Twitter because of a confrontation I did with the VP of Integrity at Facebook.
If we weren't making a difference, if it wasn't that important, why would they spend so much effort and energy into it?
I mean, all of Silicon Valley is like run by the Chinese, so.
We're in war. It's no different than what they were doing to the Jews and different things. They silence them. They're just doing it through social media and electronically now.
It's a war of the minds. It's psychological, right? It's emotional. It's mental. It's actually worse than having bullets and missiles. The only
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
between woke supremacists and the Nazi supremacists,
Yeah, I mean,
the white supremacists,
the
in
like
South,
psychological
is the
warfare is
technology
worse.
available to them. They don't need to put the Jews, the other, into ghettos because they can now electronically ghettoize us. They, in fact, this Jew is electronically ghettoized. They have removed my voice from the community. I am endlessly being imprisoned in Zuckerberg's gulags. And again, it serves
Guy's a little
exactly
bit
the
cringe,
same purpose as
to be
Stalin's
honest.
gulags. Hey, woke people,
Yeah,
wake up.
I mean-
It's pretty ridiculous to be outraged by a misgendered toy plastic potato. It's pretty ridiculous
I agree with that.
to be
I agree with that.
outraged by the shape of a syrup jar shaped in the design of a beloved black ant.
You talking about Mr. Potato Head and Aunt Jemima?
Mr. Potato Head and Aunt Jemima. It is ludicrous to be outraged by a drawing in a 70-year-old children's book of a hard-working Asian man that was somewhat cartoonish. Because you know what? You know why it was cartoonish? Because it was a cartoon.
Boom.
It sucks.
Laid
That's why we
facts.
And now what we've done is between President Trump and people like Q and podcasts like myself, we had a voice. We are the news now. When people want to know the truth, where do they go?
Alternative platforms like Rumble, BitChute, DLive, Twitch, Foxhole, Pill,
Oh, no.
CloutHub, PureSocial.tv.
I use Telegram a lot. I love Telegram. I have great group chats on there.
Now all those
I do a lot of
platforms
stuff
go.
in the community in the streets. I go stand at squares and hold signs for the kids. Operation 1009, Save Our Children, and human trafficking.
We have to return to
Technically, I agree with that.
technology of all, which is one-on-one conversation.
So I guess everyone at this event is pretty much deplatformed there. So I guess this is kind of like the way for them to network, hang out, figure out what's next. How you doing?
Big fan, bro.
Hell yeah, dog. What's on your mind?
I just met a group. They're called like Down for the Revote or something, and they're like doing a Justice for Prince thing. They think like a few days before Prince was gonna die, he was gonna out Hillary Clinton on like eating and raping children.
Okay.
Let's go find them.
This is where I'm like, okay, dude, okay.
They're going like above and beyond.
Universe will ever compare.
Prince was
Oh,
murdered,
these
and
guys,
we
man,
absolutely
fuck.
have already proven it by mathematical standards. Prince had been exposing things about deep state,
Mathematical
Illuminati,
standards,
cabal, and I
dude.
called the Worldwide Communist Network,
Mathematical
and
standards.
we all know that when you do things like that and you
Well,
use your
yeah,
celebrityism and your
no.
platform to speak these truths that are not allowed, right, by the one-eyed crew.
Prince,
then,
really?
you get hit.
I tried so
Of all the-
hard and got so far.
And now she's singing
but in
Linkin
the
Park.
end, it doesn't even matter.
Chester
'Cause
Bennington
he
is
was
the
killed.
lead singer of Linkin Park. He and Chris Cornell were going to expose Hillary Clinton's pedophilia. Jeffrey Epstein
absolutely.
was essential in facilitating quite
Always
a lot of this.
Epstein.
He is responsible for the murder of multiple
You know,
people,
the trial's
including
going on
Nipsey
now
Hussle.
for
Yes.
Maxwell.
Nipsey Hussle
Yeah,
is
her-
one of my
his
spirit
bitch.
guides, and I've just worked with his energy and guidance since his death.
Where do you get your news from?
From divine source, from God. We are
God,
a prophetic
it's
justice
God.
ministry.
I do not watch TV. I don't watch Truthers.
It's
I don't watch
always,
the
it's
internet.
always.
This chick doesn't watch anything. She doesn't read anything.
I've
She
channeled all of
just.
my life. I've always heard his
It's
voice,
God.
and my
God tells her
accuracy
everything.
is constantly at 99 to 100%.
We're not part of the Q movement. We align with some of the things that Q has said. We really came out to just network with this community. So love and honor and infinite love and gratitude to Prince and Nipsey Hussle.
Wow.
Upon further research,
Nipsey
I learned that this was not
Hussle?
the Patriot Conference. The event is hosted by John Sabal, aka QAnon John, and his wife Amy. These patriots are avid believers in QAnon, a conspiracy theory that a deep state insider is spreading messages on the image board 8chan to expose people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Gates, saying they belong to an elite cabal of Satan worshipping. I don't know what. Brace, you want to come in here?
QAnon is the theory that an individual or a group of individuals are exposing the deep state, including Hillary Clinton and her baby-eating ways, through the image board 8chan, which also has a lot of child porn. They think either Donald Trump is Q or he's behind it. He is like a Christ-like figure who's come to the office of the presidency in order to arrest and execute every single person who they don't like.
But right now is a weird time to be a Q supporter. For years, Q has talked about the storm, a day of reckoning in which Trump, along with the military, would arrest all the members of the deep state and save the world. But the storm never came.
It's weird to be a QAnon person now because for 5 years, QAnon people have believed that Nancy Pelosi, etc., would be arrested and executed in Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba. And to this date, not a single person has been.
And on December 8th, 2020, Q stopped posting.
I think the last post was a scene from Last of the Mohicans and then a gif of an American flag flying over a forest. That's basically it.
I remember that. I remember this.
I think January 6th was supposed to be the storm, and then that didn't work. And then January 20th was supposed to be the storm. But at that time, everyone was really tired. But they keep saying, I've been in there all morning, that the storm is still coming.
Q is truth forever, whether there's posts or not, as long as Anons never cease to find and spread the truth. I could go on for weeks about Q and what I've learned. One, that this was an inside
For weeks.
job.
She could go on for
I
weeks.
hope that all those that are guilty of what they did and all the crimes that came after it are punished to the fullest extent of the law.
It was an infiltration. I was there. I know what it was. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, George Soros funded, same thing. It's all an infiltration.
Fuck Antifa, to be honest.
We've seen the court documents since it's happened. These are people with connections.
I don't think that the storm didn't necessarily happen. I think that the whole point of it was for a vast majority of people to wake up. There are still things happening. We've got the audits in Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin.
I
trust the plan.
100% that there's a
The
plan.
Kraken's
I think
coming.
It's Dan Scavino,
The
Mike
Kraken will
Pompeo.
come.
I think,
Eventually, the Kraken is
going to
come.
about certain things because it's a military operation, and I have complete faith. It doesn't ruin my hopes that a lot of people aren't talking about it. They don't want to get kicked off Facebook.
Part of the reason I believe we're in this problem is because we've gotten conditioned for instant gratification. Q is the template. It doesn't matter what Q does. It doesn't matter what Trump does until we're willing to participate in something different and be a part of that. See, we are the plan. We are the storm. I think they did their job. They started the Great Awakening.
Were you disappointed when Q stopped posting back in December?
No, because they did their job. Am I disappointed in Trump? No, Trump did his job. Now we have to, as people, take back our country and not wait for a hero.
One of the tactics of this new
that's
psychological
true,
war
though.
seemed to be avoiding Q. The main speakers of the event, General Flynn and Sidney Powell, claimed to not know anything about what we're talking about.
Right there, that gentleman, right here.
Okay, thank you. Andrew Callahan, Channel 5 Action News. So,
Channel 5 from where, though? Describe
Channel 5 Action News is not actually a TV channel. It's the name of our YouTube channel.
I got it.
It's not syndicated through a national broadcasting corporation, but, So talking about manipulation, if you go on any mainstream media platform, they describe this whole event as a QAnon conspiracy conference.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they're doing that, and is that true?
If they create this boogeyman, right? If they create this boogeyman, That's a nice little thing to just keep beating us about. They try to take an organization like this and create that level of noise that I talked about. QAnon, they're the domestic, they're the new, they're the new shiny object. I don't know what QAnon is. I really don't. But I'm gonna leave here saying, well, do you believe in God?
General Flynn was being real sneaky.
As he delivered
Negative.
his speech, vendors in the back sold QAnon hats and t-shirts, and his colleague Sidney Powell was even wearing a big fat Q on the back of her motorbike jacket.
He claimed to not know what QAnon was, but months before, he took the oath with his entire extended family.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Listen, on the 4th of July last year, where we go one, we go all, he was the military man who knew about the Hillary Clinton scandals and what they've been doing for years. Like, his truth is what brought the movement alive. And, whether or not he's in it, he's the people's general, he woke us up. Whatever it was, he had a role in the Great Awakening. Shout out to General Flynn. Where we go on, we go all.
We just talked to General Flynn, and he said he doesn't know what QAnon is.
Well, media, look what they do when they take little pieces of it, and we've been ostracized, we've been talked about, through our families, we've lost loved ones, wives have walked away, parents, everybody is ostracized in a certain way in their own communities, and why give them the opportunity?
Not surprisingly, other speakers followed General Flynn's lead.
What are your thoughts on the whole, QAnon thing?
I don't know about it. I really don't. And, I only talk about things I know. Like, are you familiar with arena football?
Arena football? Yeah, like the sport?
Yeah, the sport. So, my roommate was one of the old owners of one of the teams.
So this event in general has been called a QAnon conspiracy theory rally. Even says, where we go one, we go all on the lanyard. What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
I don't know. I'm just here to talk. Booker T. Washington is the father of Black conservatism. His 3-point plan of education, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance, we need to bring that back.
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through. I think Trump is the best thing that ever happened to black people in particular. I represent.
I love when it starts singing, dude.
We kill each other every day in the black community. When a young girl is sitting up on her bed doing her homework and a bullet comes through the window, there's no Black Lives Matter. But as soon as a white police officer grabs a black person the wrong way, put the finger in the face the wrong way, Black Lives Matter. It has nothing to do with the matters of black lives.
What are the undercurrents that are hiding behind the Black Lives Matter movement?
First of all, it was started by
it's like that guy that
black lesbians who hate the black family.
The war against BLM and Antifa
who
rages
played
on.
it?
Okay, Antifa, I'm speaking to you. So what I saw yesterday is
Who's
uncalled
the
for. When you're
comedian
sitting there
that just
making
got
up
canceled
lies
not too
about
long ago because
speakers that are
he
involved with
was talking
QAnon,
about Dave
when you're
Chappelle.
sitting there
You remember him
Oh.
doing the KKK?
And don't be spewing out venom.
You remember that one? That skit?
Midway through our interview,
That's what this guy reminds me of. Like,
To be fair with you, dude, I don't think I've ever watched any Dave Chappelle, personally.
What am I doing? What's happening? Some guy got kicked out. Oh, he got kicked out. Who? He's a reporter. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing.
you should have seen that one though. That one was
Wait,
pretty funny.
Let's go to there. But okay, so first of all, yeah, I don't think I've ever watched much of Dave Chappelle. I was just outraged by how by the hypocrisy of the people that were going against him. But you see, do you see now my point about the people going a little bit too far with theories, with conspiracy theories and shit?
I mean, like, what are you defining as too far? Like it harms their mental state. Yeah, I guess
it changes people's lives to a point where they go from like being a functional person in society to this fucking I guess sort of, what's the word, like they're just sort of like stuck in this mindset, and they join whatever group. It's kind of like furries, You know, like furries are the sort of like the stay away from us type of individuals. And in a way, what they do is they just basically go to the same spots and shit, and they just congregate, and they just condense themselves to the same communities in a way so that they can basically sort of feel welcome and feel accepted. I feel like these people are the same thing. They just go over to fucking Facebook groups, fucking 4chans, 8chans, whatever the fuck, 16chan, I don't fucking know, whatever the fuck that is. But you just congregate, they stick to that shit, and it's like, if you don't believe what I'm telling you, if I'm telling you something that I really believe in, and you don't believe me, fuck you, and I'm gonna go to my community, and I'm gonna tell my community that you are an idiot, and we're gonna all be like, haha, look at that guy's a fucking idiot. Even though you present really good arguments against them. Now, I do agree with like these guys that are saying like, you know, stop human trafficking and save the children and stuff. Of course I agree with that. That's great. That's awesome. You know, for people that are awake towards that shit, because I know so many people fucking look away. Like, you could literally help a little bit if you're just like a little bit more aware, but a lot of people just look away when they see like pedo shit happening, and it's really sad to see that shit happen. But you know, it's kind of, it's a little, you know, like it fucks up their lives to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you're saying is like it their whole like their mental state goes like really haywire. Like they just go nuts over it, and they just like lose it because they think that the whole system is out to get them, and then it kind of is after they've kind of went nuts. Yeah, this whole system wants to come after them because they're kind of nuts. So I mean, but to in reality though, I think these people are like, at least by our government, they are kind of persecuted. So I can kind of see why, like, if our government just stopped, ignored them, I think they would kind of, it would kind of go away. But like our government is actually applying a lot of pressure to try to get rid of these people. So I think it causes a more of a problem than it helps. I think it's kind of like flat earthers. Like, you know, most people ignore flat earthers, and most of the time they don't do anything, and then they don't matter. So, but I think for each person, yeah, I mean, some people take things too seriously, for sure. Like they take it to such an extent where they're like, this is my embodiment of my life. I am Q, or I'm a you know, flat earther. I'm you know, whatever conspiracy you can believe in. Now I will say that there are some things that are classified, you know, like, or theories or whatever, or conspiracy theories that they have there are valid concerns with some of the conspiracy theories. Like, I mean, like you mentioned Las Vegas, like we don't know exactly what happened there, so there's a lot of gray area where you could kind of, if someone wanted to look into it and try to fill in the blanks, I mean, we'll probably never know. But it's just one of the, that's just an interesting thing, more so than like Q, which is where they're like taking it on as like a whole persona.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, we got a lot of stuff here on Twitch from Faithless Zealot. He also streams on VIMM, BTW. He says, your co-host kind of looks like a far better looking and not douchery looking Fred Durst. Sorry. You probably don't know who Fred Durst is. Do you know who Fred Durst is?
Yeah.
He's the guy from Limp Bizkit. So yeah, he's saying that you look like a far better looking and not douchery Fred Durst. So I guess
I take that as a compliment. You know, I appreciate it
for sure. And it says, do you reckon it's because a lot of people feel purposeless, so they sort of just join these groups because it gets them out of the house? Otherwise, they just lay in bed all day depressed. Yes, for sure.
Yes.
A lot of these people are like that.
Like,
and then he
because
says,
some of them, if you talk to them, like they're like shunned from their whole family. They don't have a lot of contact with people, and so then they find this group of people who will just like latch on to them, and it becomes like a cult, because then they can just kind of like, hey, here's my QAnon buddies, or here's my flat Earth buddies, and we can just, we could all hang out. Now I have Q buddies, and now I actually have some friends, and I have people. It's honestly, I think they take advantage of those kind of people, like those kind of people who have nothing, and they're like, hey, look, we're QAnon, and we'll help you. We want to be the good. We want to help people, and we want to do this good thing or whatever. And I think that's kind of where this sort of stems from for a lot of people.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And then he also says, just a reason as to why people seem to congregate to these sort of causes, which I guess it's technically what we just talked about. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I think it's a lot of really lonely people, which I also believe it's why people become furries, because they're lonely as fuck, and they can't seem to fucking find any group whatsoever that they can fit into, so they just fucking become furries, like disgusting individuals.
Degenerates. Bunch of degenerates.
Absolutely degenerates. And despite that, yeah, despite that, nothing. That's about what I was going to say. But yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna grab another beer. So once again, dude, you got the stage for yourself.
It's almost like I run the show or something. So I guess we could hop into our next topic. And something that I've been wondering about is, I don't know if you've seen it, but there seems to be an overcorrection in the way that a lot of people want to take things and want to apply a political solution to a lot of times, either a technological problem or some other thing. So recently, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to our legislation, but at least here in America, there seems to be some legislation going forward about trying to stop online botting. And that's mainly pertaining to scalpers of technological products. So, like, if people trying to buy graphics cards or whatever, they want to introduce some sort of legislation that sort of imposes some responsibility on the retail outlet to try to make them responsible for keeping out these bots and everything. I don't know if it's going to do any good. I don't know if this legislation is actually worth it. But I can only say that this kind of legislation is only going to lead to a very terrible time for a lot of people, because it's going to overcorrect in the other direction. And that's always how political solutions to technological or otherwise, just any type of problem, a political solution being applied generally overcorrects into the wrong direction. So it's going to be like a regulation, I guess, and this regulation will be on the retail outlets to make them responsible and hold them liable to make sure that they prevent scalpers and bots. Do with that information what you will, but I think that the overwhelming majority of these problems can be solved either by the sites just having better security to some degree. But then again, it's still not necessarily all on the retail outlets and the sites, because it's just the way that this system is going, right? These are products. If they were more mass produced, if the supply goes up, then the demand being as high as it is, you would still be able to meet demand, but there's not enough supply, and I think that's where the problem is right now. And I don't think any amount of legislation is going to help with the fact that there are scalpers buying up new consoles and new graphics cards and all that. I don't think there's any amount of legislation of laws that you can pass to change that.
Totally, dude.
Like I was just talking about here in the U.S. They decided to pass. Well, I mean, they haven't passed it yet, but they're looking into legislation where they want to pass a something to hold the like retail outlets accountable for bots buying stuff on the site. And I was just saying how like I think that it's not gonna change. It's not gonna be the change that people think it is. That just because they made it a law.
Yeah. So there's an essay here from Faithless Zealot on Twitch. So I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of modern activists. Stop typing, dude. Then it's gonna fucking put me down. I've been thinking about a lot of modern activist causes sort of convince people almost like a protection racket, so they predate on those who have low self-esteem and confidence, particularly if they already identify as a member of the group that specific group claims to support or empower. Because when I speak to unaligned people, particularly those who identify as a personal trait such as minority that a cause claims to help, which I have doubts since of how disorganized they seem to be. Quite true. Then he also says, they are just regular people trying to get on with their lives, so I call into question how well activists actually further the cause they espouse, because I don't see much progress, just more needless division. Goes to say, personally, just encouraging individuals to be self-accepting and self-loving and to strengthen their minds would be far more productive. Sorry, it's a big text wall. Just think about it a lot. Absolutely, dude. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and I don't know that, you know, there are. I don't know how much, you know, and I guess this could go into a conspiracy kind of, but I don't know how much you know, but a lot of times governments across the world will employ these tactics to disrupt other countries. And I think that America is going through that right now with a lot of other countries possibly wanting a piece of the American pie, so to speak. And they want to like keep this whole thing, you know, with Americans hating each other going because it kind of helps them out. And that's just kind of what I'm seeing from a broad perspective. Because I don't think that Americans, if we just believed we were Americans and we just kind of like got along, I don't think that all this division and all this hate would be happening as much as if these people who are kind of bad actors then come in here and they see these people who are kind of downtrodden, who have a lot of problems, and they say, "Look, you can be an activist for this cause, and then you can help further this cause." And whether it be, you know, like BLM, Antifa, or whatever else kind of thing, you know, QAnon, they just go in there and they steamroll these people into doing what they want.
So, this might be a hot take, but I kind of feel like America is victim of the European treatment, I guess, where we are Europe to an extent, and we kind of have like we're kind of all, you know, one continent or whatever the fuck, but we have a lot of differences, but because there's so many different countries and shit, the differences are way more than it is in America, for example. But you guys are still victims of that, because like you're basically your differences are, in my opinion, essentially like Democrats and Republicans or whatever the fuck, right? And you got like the conservatives, and then you got the fucking liberals and all that shit. So I guess it's more like it's not as massive as it is here. Like, for example, I don't like French motherfuckers. I don't like French motherfuckers. They're arrogant as shit. And
Napoleon complex.
It's, I don't know what it is. Personally, all the fucking French motherfuckers I've encountered in my life, they're all dipshits. They're all fucking arrogant motherfuckers. So fuck them all. You know? But
it's okay, we all hate the French, even the Americans.
Good. Why do you call them French fries then? Fucking change the goddamn name of that shit, man. Fuck.
Look, we're stealing it from them. That's why we're...
You're not stealing shit if you're calling it French. It's still fucking French. Just call it fries. Period. Not French fries. Fries. Boom. Done. They don't have to be fucking French fries, man.
No,
it's
bro,
fries.
they're freedom fries. They're freedom fries.
I'm fine with that shit. Freedom fries. I'm good with that. But we got a lot of differences within countries and shit. But I feel like you guys are kind of a victim of that sort of thing. I guess I don't know. I'm retarded, but yeah, I feel like you're kind of experiencing that a little bit more lately because of the internet and shit, in my opinion. Because the more and more people develop their opinions and stuff, the more they're gonna go against one another and shit, and it's just gonna be rough.
I guess what you're getting at is more of like there's like a balkanization, right, or something like along those lines, like that each country is a little bit different, and kind of like each state is a little bit different here in a lot of ways. Is that what you're kind of going for?
Not really, no, not really, because I mean, despite the different states and all that kind of shit, you guys kind of like you're still Americans, and you're still like, yeah, America. If somebody, if you're sitting at some point or standing at some point and somebody drops or somebody walks by and you go like, America, you're probably gonna be like, yeah, America, like, you know, yeah.
America, hell yeah.
What do I fucking know, man? I'm retarded and stupid. And I don't know shit.
Seeing like my perspective on it, it's like is that there definitely is some of that baked in, like because we've grown to such a point where there's a lot of people and a lot of them disagree on a lot of things, and I think that it becomes burdensome to try to agree on things that we can't agree on, I guess. It's crazy, like things like recently they've been taking up in our Supreme Court, they've been taking up things about about abortion, and people are either basically you can have yours on demand, like I can just even if it's fully born, basically I could just go ahead and end it. And then there are other people who are like, no, you can never do it under any circumstance. And that's kind of where like that whole divide goes. And it's like this huge V of just like, no, we can't agree on this at all. Like we can't even come to a compromise. Like there's no compromise. And I understand from each side why they don't want to compromise, but there's a reason why it hamstrings a lot of times. Like what you're like what we're able to actually accomplish. I guess it hamstrings that.
The faceless zealot is going ham on Twitch here. He says, I live in the UK and we have a lot of American style causes that I feel are disruptive because it completely ignores the issues that actually happen in that country. My brother and I noticed whenever we have a cultural or political discussion, we tend to automatically frame it in an American lens when we're discussing just home issues. Then he also says, I just want to encourage individualism, free thought, and mutual tolerance. Don't have to like one another necessarily, but just recognize each other's humanity. I agree with the last sentence, but individualism usually is not the greatest fucking thing, because people just focus too much on being individualistic. I feel like I feel like it develops self-centered motherfuckers too much. I don't know.
No, yeah. P Enforcer has what I mean. Yeah, no. Collectivism, which is the alternative to individualism, is actually much worse. An alternative, like the individual is the most sovereign thing, like the most the most defining thing. The individual, because without the individual, you can't even have a collective. So.
True. Very true.
So if you stomp on an individual and then you say that because it's like kind of like with, and I guess this can kind of be sort of a segue about the forced vaccines, but if you stomp on an individual
True,
the if you stomp it on one individual for the whole group, for the whole, and then what good are you, and what good is that going to do for that person or for the whole of society? Because then it becomes acceptable to I've been looking into like Kantian ethics, and like in Kantian ethics, basically if you can't apply a principle universally, then you shouldn't apply the principle. So it's like if we can't be, either we have to accept people's like bodily autonomy and allow them to choose what they're going to do, or you're just going to get forced vaccines and whatever other medication, whatever the government or anybody else wants you to take, you have to take it at that point.
True. I think forced vaccines are just like I told you the other day, or yesterday rather. Personally, I think people are already doubtful, people are already against your shit and all that kind of stuff, in terms of like the fucking vaccine and whatnot. If you force that shit, you're just fucking validating everyone else's points. You're just telling them, yo, you guys are pieces of shit. You're forcing the fucking thing. Why should you force this? I don't remember the meningitis fucking vaccine being forced. I don't remember the chicken flu or whatever the fuck, bird flu vaccine being pushed. I don't remember pushed. Why did I say it like that? Pushed. I don't remember the fucking swine flu vaccine or whatever the fuck it was being pushed anyways. So it's like, why is this one being pushed so much? Because it was a global pandemic? I mean, fuck, man. I don't want to discredit, or I don't want to like sort of take the legitimacy of anybody that suffered this or had loved ones perish to it. But again, man, fucking, I didn't get it. I guess it's because I'm a smoker. I guess I had smoker immunity to it.
Well, I think they did studies saying that smokers are less likely to have a problem with it, which is funny. It's a respiratory illness, so that's kind of funny. It's like something where breathing is involved, and smokers are actually more immune.
Yeah, you'd assume smokers are a little the fucking biggest victims to that shit. You know, because quite literally, their lungs are fucked. Maybe it's because our lungs are so filled with shit all over the place.
But the disease is just like the virus is just I don't want to deal with that.
It can't get in. It just can't get in. There's a fucking shield of fucking like asphalt and all kinds of chemicals and shit just covering the fucking lungs, and the disease is like, nope, I'm out, peace. I'm gonna find a healthy person. But I looked at Twitter earlier, and he's actually somebody who fucking drops on here often. I think it's Addict or some shit like that. And he posted like a little thing where, or he commented on the post or quoted a fucking post on Twitter where there's a very common narrative going on with which is like young people having heart attacks, and it's like, okay, cool, I guess. Not cool, I guess. That sounds fucked up, but I'm saying cool, like, I guess is like, okay. I mean, so you vaccinated?
Like you're not thinking anything of it, right? That's what you're meaning. You're like, what of it? You know, I guess.
Yeah, you vaccinated all these motherfuckers, and now they're having issues with their health. So that's interesting, you know. But I feel like I could be very, very fucking wrong here. I could be very wrong here, but I feel like the narrative they're trying to push is like these guys were vaccinated, but at the same time they're trying to push the narrative that they haven't been vaccinated, so they're getting heart diseases or heart failures, heart attack.
Well, there's all kinds of narratives going around that. Like, it's like either they aren't vaccinated and it's some kind of new thing where kids are just developing heart problems. Like, oh, well, kids are developing more heart problems nowadays. It's like that kind of narrative. Or there's also the narrative where, like, if they I also saw like stuff like if they, you know, if you smoke weed, then you could have heart problems, or just any sort of narrative you can think of relating to having heart problems. They're kind of pushing it in all directions, I guess, like, because they're thinking like, if we cover everything, then everything causes heart problems now, and then that's why that's our cover.
True. And I don't do shit most of the days. I smoke like a fucking crazy motherfucker. When I drink like a crazy motherfucker. I'm still alive. Why? Why the fuck am I still alive, man? I don't get it. I don't get it. Fuck me, man. The person that's trying to not be fucking alive is still alive. It's fucking crazy. But you know, it is what it is. It's kind of a weird narrative, man. It's kind of a weird narrative. It's like, don't just, in my opinion, just don't push that shit. Let people accept it or not. If people don't accept it, there's probably a reason for them not accepting it.
I think it would be better if they were just honest. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, even if it's not 100% true, like the way that they're being so deceptive, it's like they're being sneaky. Like they're a kid that's getting caught, and it's like, why are you lying? Like, why not just say like, hey, it may have problems and it may cause these things, and then that way. But I think that the companies can't let themselves do that, because then they're like, oh, well, then people won't take it, and also we'll have to report that, and we'll have to tell everybody, hey, be careful, it does have these side effects, does have these problems, and then there'll be like a whole spiel with it, you know, whatever. But they're scared of that.
But then at the same time, it's like, who, like, are those fucking news articles even real? Are those even true? Is it just bullshit from fucking, like, from the fucking, like, because I feel like it could be like a fucking domino effect where somebody posts some bullshit about, oh, this guy had an heart attack, and then the fucking, like, the other motherfucker, like, who publishes shit at some other bullshit newspaper or whatever the fuck, they read that shit and like, oh yeah, oh, that shit happened, and we're gonna post about it. We don't even fucking research, because fuck that shit. Imagine working. We're just gonna post about it. We're just gonna like try to sort of mess around with the words a little bit, and we're gonna post it as well. It's gonna be the same thing but with different words, and then the other one does the same thing, the other one does the same thing. It's like, it's just a fucking domino effect where
I think it's a mix. Like, it's some of that, what you're saying. It's some of like just reposting and like saying like, hey, oh, I saw this, bro, and it must be true. And this must be kind of the story or whatever, and that's kind of where one side that they're going of. And I think there's another side where like they just they want the vaccines to like be effective, and they don't want to like prove it wrong. And so what they do is they go find like, oh yeah, so the vaccine is totally not the cause of this. So I found that there's this new thing that's causing heart problems in people. Yeah, so don't smoke marijuana because then that'll cause you heart problems. That's kind of the thing, that the way that they want to go from that way.
No, that's actually on the fucking that is literally on the thing. Like it literally says like people who smoke marijuana are gonna fucking get heart attacks. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's so funny that you fucking mentioned that shit because it's literally on there. Like, yeah, oh, you smoke marijuana, dude? Oh, you're gonna get fucking heart attacks left and right, bro. Motherfucker. You know, I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
I don't.
It's like they're expecting you not to know. Like they're expecting you. They want you to like be dumb and not know.
Like I've heard of people who, like, they got so high they fucking passed out and shit. But heart attacks? I mean, from weed? I mean, goddamn, dude, that's gotta be either some fucked up like
Laced
manipulated weed or goddamn, dude. I don't know, man.
They got the good. They got that good.
No, that's not good. I mean, that's not good at all. It's gotta be fucking manipulated to fuck you up, or a mistake, like an accident of craft, or not crafting, but fucking sort of.
You smoked it wrong. You smoked it wrong. All of a sudden, you have.
You smoked it too fast, motherfucker. You should smoke like slower.
Slow token on it. There, like you can't
yeah,
just huff the whole thing down.
But yeah, like it's fucking ridiculous. I'm kind of scrolling through Twitter right now, trying to find it, but I don't think I'm gonna find it now. Maybe if I look for the guy's profile. I guess this probably helps. Oh, here you go. Oh, there you go. Okay. So the first post says, "'Tis the season. The ways cold weather can affect your body, from winter vagina to blood clots." The little-known heart attack that's striking fit and healthy women as young as 22. And then the next one is, cannabis use disorder may be linked to growing number of heart attacks in younger adults. It's always young adults. Like it's heart attacks in young adults. It's like the shit they push. Then the next one is, study e-cigarettes increase stroke risk at earlier ages than conventional cigarettes. That's fucking bullshit. Like that's an immediate fucking bullshit. Like there's no fucking way.
But what they do is they find like one obscure study that doesn't even have any weight to it, and then they try to prove it through that. It's like, and it's funny because like it's absolutely not even scientific most of the time. It's just like some kind of like BS that like, oh yeah, this one guy just decided to test this with 5 random people. And then all of a sudden, one of them had a heart attack. It's like, well, what? How does that prove anything? Like, what are you using to actually prove this is real?
That was fucking funny, dude. It was so funny. Like, I just imagine like somebody, like 4 people just chilling, and all of a sudden one has a fucking heart attack. I know that's not fucking funny at all. Like that's a very serious fucking thing, but it's like, I was just imagining like the way you said it, like, oh, they were just like sort of having these people, and one all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they grab 5 guys off the street. They're like, yo, like you guys smoke some weed, and then all of a sudden, one guy's just like, all of a sudden he just like has a heart attack. It's like, okay, case closed. Case closed. We got it.
Fucking hell, dude. So, the next one after that last one says, climate change may cause increased rates of heart defects in babies. And then the next one says COVID-19 pandemic increasing risk of anxiety and therefore heart disease. Study with a link. Aha, lol. The next one says rise in heart attacks attributed to pandemic, stress, and poor diet. Next
Poor
one
diet,
says,
maybe. But stress, no.
I don't disagree with the fucking poor diet, but still, I feel like it's quite the stretch. The next one says, why are heart attacks becoming common in seemingly fit people?
Good question. Very good question. Why? What one thing have people been forced to take? I don't know. It's one of the, I can't say. I can't say. What have they been taking?
The last one says stroke. Millions at greater risk of stroke when the clocks change. How to lower your odds. Listen to our podcast and you will not get a heart attack. Donate to us. Donate to us and you will not have a heart attack. If you buy our merchandise, you are heart attack free for at least 6 months. Like, come the fuck on, dude.
Oh, I thought you were
bunch of
advertising for our
dipshits.
podcast.
I mean, I guess it could work. You know, I feel like we're pretty heart attack free. Thus far, anyways. Thus far, we're pretty heart attack free, so.
Surely we don't give people heart attacks when they listen to the podcast.
Surely. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just such a stupid narrative, I feel like. This was literally something that I found funny as fuck when somebody said it. I don't remember where I read it. I don't remember who said it. But I remember in 2020, someone was like, "Oh, so people are dying left and right. So what if that guy falls from a fucking plane without a parachute and he falls flat on the ground? Is he gonna die from COVID as well? Because he forgot his fucking parachute?" I mean, fucking hell, dude. You know, it's like, so everyone who was dying from COVID, even though they had no fucking correlation with COVID whatsoever. Like, no symptoms, no nothing. Like, it's like, okay, so, hey man, I got stabbed. Oh, you died of COVID. You are dying of COVID. I'm sorry, that's COVID. Get the knife out of your body. That is fucking COVID. It's like, okay, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been sliced in half by a chainsaw. That's COVID. That is definitely COVID. Like, come on, man. You know.
Car accident? Oh, well, no, COVID.
COVID. Absolutely, COVID.
They actually proved that there. I don't know if you saw it. Like, in the U.S., we actually did literally have that kind of scenario. There was a guy in a motorcycle accident and died, and they actually proved that he was killed in the motorcycle accident. And then they said, like, "Oh, this is a COVID death," and then they just counted it.
They proved that it was not a COVID deal.
Well, I mean, he died in a motorcycle accident, so like. They just said COVID. Like they literally wrote on it. Like if you looked at his death certificate, it said COVID, even though he died in a car motorcycle accident. Like he was already dead.
Okay, so
the body was cold.
So he died in the accident, and then like what they took the body in for like an autopsy or some shit, and then they fucking decided, oh, this guy had COVID.
Yeah. Well, like they said that after he was dead. They said the body, like, you know, the body's already cold, and they said that we tested his body, and his body was COVID positive, so we're counting it as a COVID death. Here, I'll link.
Oh wow, goddamn, dude, how convenient. Goddamn, you know. So if I fucking slit my wrists and I pass out on the bathtub and I don't wake up, they go like, "Oh, this guy had COVID."
Yep. This
Guy had fucking COVID, man. God damn it. It's such an inconvenience that he slit his wrists. Because he already had COVID, so he's gonna die anyways. What an inconvenience. Like, he should have just waited. Oh my fucking goodness, man.
See, he could have got vaccinated first. Like, that would have been the play.
Nah, I mean, they were developing it prior to that. So, feels bad, man. Anyways, we got 5 minutes left, man. Any sort of like fast topic we can go through, like for like about a minute or two?
I mean, I guess
Guess
we could talk about, online bullying, like the way.
Oh, dude, that keep that one
Keep
for
that
next episode. Yeah. That could lead to like fucking at least an hour of us talking about that shit. So, oh, bless me. But yeah. So stick around, because right next is LP Foss with Joculation. He's gonna joculate all over you dumb motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you dumb motherfuckers. But
you are.
Wow, dude, goddamn. Okay, I'm
kidding,
the asshole.
Just kidding.
I'm the asshole here. Okay. And I should be the asshole. I am the douchebag, the fucking asshole, the punching bag for the people. You should be the nice guy. You must be the nice guy that people like to talk to and people like to hear and shit like that. I'm gonna be the punching bag, and I'm gonna be the fucker who's like the you're
gonna be the Meg
bitter,
of the show. Shut up, Meg.
I'm the fucking Meg. I'm the bitter, edgy motherfucker no one likes, and I'm okay with that. It's all good. So you can't say the shit like that, man. You can't say shit like that, But we got 3 minutes, so you guys stick around for LP Foss Joculation, and I guess we can say like where people can find us and shit.
Yeah, so I have a Pillar account, and it has a link of all my links here. I'm gonna post it in chat. You can find all my main social medias there. I have a couple of YouTube channels that you can check out. Trey's Think Tank and Trey 50 Daniel. And mainly follow me on Twitter, because I post most of everything else there.
Oh shit, you got your OnlyFans here, dude. Cool. How much do you charge for your OnlyFans?
$5 a month.
That's all? Oh wow, that's cheap, man. It's quite cheap. I guess I could post where my shit is. Yeah, just check that shit out, and that's about it. There doesn't need to be much more, to be fair. Pillar needs to do a little, like, one of these fucking things, where you post the link on Discord and like it pops a little thing on there underneath, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, like we got like what? We got probably a few seconds. So thank you very much, everybody, for dropping in, listening, and all that shit. We really appreciate it. Next week we are gonna be back. We're gonna have a December. We're gonna have a thematic or a theme, whatever the fuck, episode for Christmas. So look forward to that. And have a great fucking weekend. Have a great life, motherfuckers. And keep your chins up. We'll see you guys in the next one.